And now here's the Porch.
Well, good morning, fun seekers. How y'all out there in radio land? Good, I hope. Another beautiful day. Got some rain out of this clouds and stuff, but it's a beautiful day today. I don't know what's on the horizon, but for the moment, sunshine. As we near the weekend, sunshine. I love it. Let me tell you what I want to talk about today, and I hope to get you involved in this because it's fun. It's not only a trip down memory lane, but it's something that you may know about firsthand. I want to talk about fads. We've done this before, and it's always been fun. You know, anybody out there has had the opportunity to be part of a fad because you don't have to pay any union dues or that sort of thing. They just happen to you, and it's kind of fun if you're at the right age to be in a fad. It's kind of fun. Let's talk about some of them and see how many you remember or how many you can recall. You remember when the fad was for teenage boys to have taps, great big taps on their shoes. You could hear them coming down the hall at the school for 2 blocks away. Click, 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 click. Taps. Don't know what started that. I cannot imagine what started that, but I know every teenage boy in the country somehow got involved in it. Let's see. I got a long list here. Haircuts. Men's haircuts go from fad to fad to fad. You remember when the newsreel cameras, and I guess some television cameras too, had pictures filmed of the Beatles getting off the airplane and waving at everybody. And the Beatles were well-dressed guys at the time. They soon got sloppy, but they were well-dressed. And their haircuts were like somebody put a bowl on their head, combed them down right in the front, so it was right down to their eyebrows. That was the Beatles look. And before you know it, in short order, it was hard to look at these boys' foreheads. They had stopped using their foreheads. You remember? All you could see was eyebrows up, the Beatles look. About that time, I guess, well, before that, I guess this is a wartime thing. Somebody can call me and tell me. Ponytails for the girls. Ponytails. I like them. I liked them then, like them now. Ponytails, and there was one called the French twist. That was everybody had that one. Every girl had that one. Switching back to the boys, you remember when the contest was which teenage boy could have the loudest muffler? I mean, we talk and we fuss now about the teenagers who turn the radio up too loud. And you can feel the bumps, but we forget about the mufflers that had everybody involved in that. And the glass packs, they were called, some of them. The Smitties, they were called twin Smitties. It had a good sound. It had a muffler-like sound, a muffled muffler-like sound, and a brrr like that, a bubbling sound. Boy, they were around. They were around. How about this one? And this was, I guess you had to be a teenager to be allowed to do this. But do you remember the twister knobs they had on the steering wheel? You never see anymore. I never see them anymore. Maybe on a truck or something. But the twister knobs was just a knob, K-N-O-B knob, that was attached to your steering wheel. And you got more control of the car, and you could turn it faster and that sort of thing. And they had little pictures on it, bathing beauties, as they called them. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. That was fun. And everybody was doing it. You could, and that's it. A lot of bathing beauties around because every time you turned around, somebody was having a picture of a woman in a bathing suit. and that was called Bathing Beauties. One more, and then I'm going to turn to you. Dances. We could start with dances and start with the Charleston and name every kind of dance there ever was. And we picked it up here in America and probably made it famous from here. But the dances, you remember when the Cubans were around, Xavier Cugat and his orchestra, and they made dances like the rumba and the conga. International crazes, the Spanish, in our Spanish era. I got a bunch of them. I got a lot more, and I bet you have too. I'd like to know the ones that you were involved in, but not necessarily. If you heard of it, if you want to talk about it, if your brother or sister was in it, any of that, we'll follow up and talk about it. And so let's do it. Our number, 1-800-572-8255. Going to be a good day, gang. Beautiful weather and a good topic to talk about. And let's proceed here to get about 1,500 calls. How about it? We'll be right back. Give us a buzz. 1-800-572-8255 is our number. Great day. Fads, we're talking about them. Talking about the ones you were involved in. Don't be embarrassed. Happened to all of us. Anybody out there, this is an old one. This goes back to the 40s. Anybody out there remember seeing somebody wearing what they called a zoot suit? Do you remember those? It goes way back to the 40s. Very popular in certain areas, but not. I don't think it made it to the deep south. The zoot suit was a suit, clothing suit that wear big blossomy trousers that were very tight around the ankles. Very ugly, very ugly. And the suit had to be too big for the guy wearing it, and tight around the middle. And let's see what I can remember. And just ugly, just ugly. And I never knew anything about where they got started, but it was I understand started in a New York fad, but they were unattractive. And you might maybe seen them in the movies. A zoot suit. I only saw one. An uncle of mine, a teenage uncle of mine, wore a zoot suit one time. It was just terrible, just terrible. So let's see. Let's go down my list here a little bit. What is that? What have I got down? Oh, the women's shoes. Love these. Because they come and go in fads just as fast as they can. They remember the ones just a little while back. High heels and very pointed toes. It was great for killing roaches in the corner because you could stomp them with those toes. Women's shoes. They probably changed so often that they might not even be considered a fad. I don't know. But they remember when they was, I don't know what you call it, but they were built up, and you felt like felt like she was walking on air, and a lot of women were breaking their ankles. These things were so high. But women's shoes really a subject to much discussion as far as fads are concerned. And the last one on my list is sideburns. Do you remember when it was very fashionable for men to wear sideburns? As a matter of fact, it was very fashionable. They swept the country, everything. Even Peter Lawford had sideburns, and they were ugly on him too. Fuzzy-looking things, sideburns. So let's get together and talk. 1-800-572-8255. Fads. Were you involved in any? Let's talk about it. 1-800-572-8255. Talk to my buddy now. Mike Fright is on board. Hello, Mike.
Yeah, good morning, Lud.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Good, good.
It's the fads.
You sound like a big tap man to me.
Yeah, I had the taps, but I didn't have the horseshoe taps. I was just now sitting trying to remember why I didn't have the horseshoe taps. Probably because Mama wouldn't let me have them.
What are you doing, son, wearing those things? Yeah, I can hear her now.
Yeah. She'd send me to the shoe store and said, no, you get them little small ones. I think I did have some on my toes, too, maybe.
Yeah.
The metal ones.
Uh-huh.
I go to the same shoe store now and get soft ones put on my dress shoes, keep from wearing them out.
Here you coming a block away.
Oh, yeah, we had hardwood floors in our school, and one of the bathrooms had this real slick tile floor. It was a real old schoolhouse, built in the teens, probably. The boys with the horseshoe taps could slide all the way across that thing. But they made a racket. You couldn't sneak around. Maybe I was too much of a sneak. That's why I didn't have the horseshoe taps.
That's it. You had plans that you don't want anybody to know about. About this time, about the tap time, I heard somebody interviewing Harry Belafonte. And, of course, rock and roll was king at that time, just taking over. And the guy and the two of them agreed that calypso music was going to push rock and roll right out of the windows. Rock and roll was just a figment that was going to pass. And and Belafonte was the only guy I knew that had a hit record with him. But that kind of fell on his face, and I've often thought about that the interview, I mean.
The haircuts.
Yeah.
My daddy, until probably the late 60s, he wore a flat top. And when I was about 5 or 6, me and my brother was 3 years older, and we decided we just bugged Mother and bugged. She didn't want us to have one. She just didn't think that little boys should have a flat top. Finally, she gave in. We went and got the flat top, got a jar of butch wax,
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have to use daddy's and stand them little hairs straight up in the front, and here we go.
I can remember I wore that one of those throughout high school. That's the only kind I had was a flat top, and the bush wax too. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember seeing the barber skeet that trimmer with that attachment straight across the top of them heads, getting that thing just right.
Yeah, it was and it was spread too. I moved to a new school about that time, and first thing, and I had one. And first thing you know, it spread, and there was 50 of them that I see every day. Yeah.
The loud mufflers on the cars. Now we got these all these Harleys with loud mufflers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or straight pipes, whatever they got. But that's really annoying to me when one gets in front of you.
And to me too. And I told this story before. I was at a service station somewhere, I guess, and the guy on the next pump had a radio that was so loud you could
Yeah, they got them now where they'll shake your car.
All right, you can feel them before you see them.
Yeah.
Before you hear them. But I guess I hope that one's short-lived.
Boy, I'm ready for it to go.
Yeah, yeah.
I was riding into work. I come through the Marietta Square every morning, and it was one of these 2 or 3 weeks ago, a nice cool day. Went into roll your windows down at least part of the way, and then turn the heater on in the car.
Yeah, got you.
And I was just easing through the Marietta Square and all these buildings around, and here come a Harley. Come around me in the car in front of me and whipped it in front of him at the red light.
Oh,
and I didn't want to ride the rest of the way to work behind that loud thing, so I pulled out and got next to him in the red light. Of course, he saw what I was trying to do, and pulled a little burnt Mountain Betty on him, and had a little drag race. Of course, he beat me. went in about an eighth or 10th of a mile to a three-way intersection with a 90-degree to the left. Well, it came to a T, really, but we were going to the left. He should have been ashamed. He took the inside of that turn. I passed him on the outside of my pickup truck. And if I had on a motorcycle and let a pickup truck pass me on the outside of a turn, I would have just hung my head and went off somewhere else.
Stop and traded the motorcycle.
But he passed me back to the next red light and got off his motorcycle and walked over to my truck and asked me what I had a problem. And I said, explained to him rather loud tones about the problem I had with his loud motorcycle.
Yeah.
And he eventually got back on it and
revved
it up real loud again.
You should have said, yeah, I do have the 38 Smith & Wesson I got in the glove compartment. I don't think it had but 5 shells in it.
They won't allow us to have weapons in the vehicle where I park where we work.
Oh.
But a real biker would have drugged me out there and pounded on my head, you know.
Yeah. This guy was really riding a Triumph or something.
Oh, we used to all have bell-bottom blue jeans, so long they just dragged the ground, get all nasty and tore up. There
was a song about that time. I don't know. You don't remember it, I don't guess it. It went bell-bottom trousers, coats of navy blue. She loved a sailor and he loved her too.
It's about Ish and that Irish girl, wasn't it?
Yeah, so was. But they couldn't find out the rhyme with Ish. I got to go, big boy. You take care.
Have a good day, Lud.
Hang in there. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
From my hat down to my boots, I still act and look the same. What you see ain't nothing new. 'Cause I was country when country wasn't cool. Yeah, I was country when country wasn't cool.
Let me tell you about a place somewhere up in New York way, where the people are so gay, twisting the night away. Here they have a lot of fun, putting trouble on the run. Man, you find the old and young, twisting the night away. They're twisting.
All right, twisted. Another fad. Let's go to Bay, Georgia, and talk to Reed. Who lives in Bay, Georgia? Give me a call.
Good morning.
Hello there, big boy. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good.
Good. What's your name? I got it down wrong. I wrote it down wrong.
It's Ren. It's Ren, R-E-N.
Okay, good. Ren, I got you.
Yeah. You remember Brother Dave Gardner, I'm pretty sure.
Brother Dave was a friend of mine. I knew him well.
Okay. He had characters in his show called Miss Baby and Junior.
Yeah.
And that's where taps first came into my world.
I got you.
When I was listening to the record.
Right.
That was before the days of the CDs and the 8-tracks and all. Of course, you know that.
Yep.
And I asked my brother, I said, what in the world is taps? And Brother Dave was, part of the show was that Junior would be down in front of the pool hall on Saturday night and said he'd make sparks fly. And all the little kids just marvel at him.
Yeah.
So my brother, he says, okay, he said, I'll show you. So we went down to the shoe store where they put soles back on shoes and worked on them, put heels on them, and he said, now that's taps right there. And they had like an assortment of jewelry with different kind of taps, like you were talking about that. Half moon. And I had not thought about that in years until I heard you talking about it a few moments ago.
Yeah. Yeah, Brother Dave he's another one that swept the country. A lot of Brother Dave fans out there for a few years. He was a good one. He was a good one.
He was. He had a real good sense of humor about him.
Yeah. Nice man. I liked him a lot. You from Bay, Georgia?
Bay, Georgia.
Where's Bay, Georgia? Tell me about that.
That's in Colquitt County.
All right.
If you know where that is.
I do know where that is.
All right.
And I take it Bay, Georgia is just about, 100,000 population, something like that?
If you count everybody that comes through on the highway about 2 weeks at a time. We used to have the chicken races out there for our fire department. And that's a lot of fun.
Making money for the chicken races?
Yeah.
That does sound like fun.
It is a lot of fun, and a lot of clean fun, and we can raise some money for these volunteer fire departments, and it goes to a good cause.
Okay, good. You take care of yourself. I got to go.
Take care of yourself.
All right, buddy. 1-800-572-8255. Denny, I know you said Somerset. Bob in Somerset is here. Hello, big boy.
Hey, Ludlow.
How you doing?
All right, you going to be here when John comes? Hey, you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
That's one of my favorite stories. And somebody come in riding on one of them Wheatie Madoppers that grind smoke. I think about that every now and then.
He was a character.
Yeah, he sure was. One of my I thought about some girl fads. One of them that I wonder if you remember. This was probably about 1961 because I was about the 4th grade. Girls had wore sailor hats upside down.
Oh, I missed that.
And they were decorated, and it was pretty hot fad around here for a time.
I remember a thing called the New Look, where the dresses were real long, come down to mid calf.
Uh-huh.
That was big for a while too, but that went away.
I'll tell you one thing to the guy's great delight.
Huh.
One of the things that I remember too, to my acute embarrassment, was when girls wore white lipstick. Coming back home and off the date, and my mother just teasing the life out of me. What you doing with white lips, Bob?
Yeah, that was a sign of the times, Bob.
Oh, but it was hideous if you think about it.
I do think about it all the time, and it was hideous.
It was absolutely hideous.
Yeah.
Mike was mentioning the bell bottoms. The worst bell bottoms were some that were cuffed, and fortunately that didn't last for a while. I'm not the most coordinated fella in the world, and I was forever tripping on them things.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, they were miserable. I hated them.
I could see that. Yeah.
They couldn't last too long, and of course I remember the peg pants that you had to take your shoes off to put your breeches on.
I had a friend. The fad was to have the tightest breeches you could have on.
Yeah, and not embarrass yourself by bending over and busting your britches out.
My friend that we'll call Crazy Ron, he would put on those breeches in the morning before he left for school, and run the bathtub half full of water.
Oh gosh!
And sit down in that bathtub, so those things would cling to him, and be tight as it could be. Yeah, very tight. And I guess that was the worst fad, is to see somebody in breeches that they had to wallow in. They could walk.
Oh yeah, that was awful. And I tell you some of the things, some of the shirt fads when I was about the 8th grade or 9th grade, there was a fad for a while of big polka dots. They were the ugliest things I ever saw.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They were hideous. I had one shirt like that. Thank the Lord that was the only one I had like that. Now, what was a little prettier, and then I did like, was paisley.
Yeah, Paisley. Yeah.
And everything was Paisley, and I think that came from the Beach Boys. Their album covers was the beginnings of that. But you had I remember I had a belt that was Paisley on one side. The only one I ever had like that. Of course, it didn't last long. You're rough on stuff when you're high school age.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I had one like that, and then also had shirts that had no collar. Remember those?
Oh yeah.
And I kind of like those because I got a big neck, and I was forever, you just squirming sometimes with the neck of your shirts. I wore print shirts all the time, so
Yeah.
those were pretty nice.
One day when they took us in for haircuts, first haircut in the military, guy in front of me had these very puffy. He really had them. He's about 19 years old, but boy, he knew how to grow sideburns. And the guy stopped instantly when he saw him in line and said, "Boy, we don't cut those." And he said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Ain't but two kind of folks that come through here with sideburns, and you ain't got no guitar."
I tell you what, I remember that my oldest cousin. He's not with us anymore, and he was in high school when I was in the grades, and the county high school was rock throwing distance from where we lived, and he came over right after school one day, and he had what he called a flat top with fenders. Okay, my mom took one look at him. She said, "Merle, you look like a hoodlum." And he got mad and left and didn't show up at our house for a week. That broke my mom's heart, but because he was her special favorite. But that was a hideous-looking haircut, I'll have to say.
Oh, we went through some hideous-looking fads.
Oh, we sure did go through some hideous-looking fads. That school was there was a country store close to where we lived when I was very small, and the boys would sneak over there and smoke and eat moon pies and drink pop at dinner time. Yeah, literally. And they would roll their cigarette packs in their shirt sleeves. I remember that.
Oh yeah, that was the sign of the times.
Oh yeah, and,
sign of the times.
And if you're cool, you kept a kitchen match between your teeth sometimes too.
Those are the ones I wanted to kill. I just.
Yeah. Mike was talking about the loud mufflers. They used to have what they called glass packs that they put.
Yeah.
Remember those? How loud those were?
Very well, yeah.
And the cops absolutely hated them. They were a cop attractor,
Yeah, you get a ticket for general principles.
Just general principles. You would find yourself followed, even if you was a pretty good guy if you had glass packs.
Yeah. All right, big boy, you having a good day, I hope.
Yeah, I'm having a great day. Hope you are too.
Take care. See you later.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's go to Miami Beach and talk to my buddy Lloyd on the radio. Hello, Lloyd.
Good morning, Dr. Porch.
How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Are you telling me that my blue double knit leisure suit's out of style?
I think so.
Well, because I kind of want to go in there and put that thing on with that white belt.
Yeah.
And then white shoes.
You can't get away with that now. Mine was green.
Boy, and smoke a pipe. They had them little short pipes.
Yeah.
For a while, it's kind of stylish, instead of a regular pipe, little bitty short ones. And I tell you what, I burnt more holes than double knit breeches with the ashes coming out of them pipes.
I can't smoke one of those pipes. I tried. It gave me the hiccups. Isn't that crazy?
Well, I think there's some things that give me the hiccups, but I can't say it over there.
I got you.
And when I was in high school, son, I had me a pair of sideburns. Elvis Presley was jealous. And when I'd go pick a girl up for a date, they had them little short ties, clip-on ties. I don't know if you remember those or not.
I do.
And I had some of those, and I'd put me a dress shirt on with little short ties. Of course, I was always sweetening honey into mama,
Mm-hmm.
And everything worked out pretty good from there. But I had that tie on there. Of course, that didn't fool the daddy.
Oh, no. He knew why. He knew why you were there.
He knew what was happening.
Yeah.
And he's over there cleaning that pistol. Said, you do understand what time it is. And, boy, don't you miss getting in the car. And in Oak Ridge, we'd ride around Shoney's about 4 or 5 times. Make sure everybody saw us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then pull in there and get one Coke and one big fried split between 4 people. And And then we'd leave Shoney's because we'd seen everybody, ever seen us. Then we'd go to the Blue Circle, right around that Blue Circle, and do the same thing. Oh, boy, what wonderful days. And go to the drive-in. I don't think I've ever seen a movie at the drive-in.
Nobody has.
No, I don't believe so. I'm sorry those days are gone. But, time and place for everything, I guess. But, and tap dancing. Now, Aubrey is famous as a tap dancer.
I didn't know that.
That boy can tap dance. Well, see, Mike Fry, of course, is brought home 2 or 3 trophies tap dancing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, he won't. He'll deny it now because he's kind of introverted and bashful and everything. He don't like to talk too much. But he was a good tap dancer, brought home the trophy. But Aubrey tap danced all the time. He tap danced up and down them halls. And then after a while, the teachers got on to him a little bit.
I'll have to ask you about that.
Yeah, he'd do that. And then there was a little fad for a while where you had to have your little dip at the back in the side of your mouth. And
yeah, I didn't get involved in that.
Well, I tried it for a while, and it was just nasty.
It is nasty.
It cut down on my dating, and so it didn't take long to figure that one out.
Yeah.
But the wonderful days of fads, and I do remember the drive-ins though. All those wonderful times where we'd just go in there and fog them windows up, and boy, wasn't it wonderful.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. See what you think about this. There had been a single female called to talk about fads, and they were more involved in fads than the boys.
Especially their hair.
The hair, the new look, all of those things. And what had happened anytime a gay guy in Paris would put a new one out, it was always that became the fad.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was so glad. I was so glad in Oak Ridge when summertime came, so those girls would get those bikinis out. And I think they were competing there for a while to see how skimpy they could be, which, of course, back then wasn't nothing like it is today, especially in Miami.
Right.
And one of the fads down here, which really tickles me, is to see these men from New Jersey in their 80s walking around with sandals on and black socks. And when they go to the beach, these old guys, they got Speedos on. Now, there's a lot of things in the world I don't want to see. That's right at the top of the list is an old man with Speedos on.
I bet you the same guys wearing flip-flops, too, I bet.
Well, I was getting ready to say that. There's this fad came up with flip-flops. But I think it's like rock and roll, Ludlow. I don't think it's going to last, do you?
God, I hope not. How tacky that is.
Yeah, well, my wife was wearing some flip-flops the other day. I said, Ludlow would be awful proud of you. And she just giggled, She said, well, I don't wear them out. I said,
well, they're right in now. You go anywhere. You see what your ugly feet flip-flopping along.
Yeah, and listen, men, don't wear flip-flops, please. Don't do that. Yeah. Women, it's okay with women because they are pretty and feminine and so forth. But men, please don't do that. That's just not a good thing. You know what I mean?
No, it's a bad thing. I got to go, big boy.
I love you. Be listening to you in Miami.
You take care. I'll talk to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
800-572-8255. When you pick a topic for a talk show, one of the things you ask yourself is, where will it go? Is it going to lead to nasty calls and that sort of thing? And you also say, is this just for men or is this for men and women? And that's the one you shoot for. One that satisfies everybody. We have not had a single woman call. I don't know whether it's bashfulness or whether you can't remember the fads, but Lord knows y'all had more than we did. Yeah, if you count the hair and that sort of thing. So we'll talk about that by and by. But I don't know where I went wrong, girls. We'll think about it. 1-800-572-8255. More right after this. Stay with us.
Profile America, Thursday, April 22nd. Baseball's recently formed National League opened for its first games on this day in 1876.
a tune out and he throws it on the hump. Down on the corner, out in the street, playing the folk boys are playing, bring the nickel tappy feet.
All right. 1-800-572-8255. Denny, do you find it strange that we haven't had a single female caller?
I'm wondering, Leslie. I'm not sure what's on TV this time of morning, but maybe Maury Povich is on, or Jerry Springer or something might be on right now. And all the women, of course, are watching that because of the quality of the programming.
Yeah, and they do go to some. They do go to some trouble to make sure the quality is.
Yeah, they try to keep a certain level.
Is there? Yeah. Yeah, and they do that.
Yeah, they do keep a certain level.
But I just, where did I go wrong?
I don't know. I mean, you even mentioned ponytails. Maybe they thought you meant ponytails on men. That was a kind of a fad, I guess, for a while.
I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, there was a time you couldn't go to a radio and record convention without seeing at least, a third of the guys there with a cute little ponytail. I mean, and a lot of guys were bald.
And sometimes they were floating.
Had a little bitty ponytail on the back. It's kind of an obligation on their part,
Yeah, I remember seeing some of those, but they seemed happy and content. But I just wonder where did I go wrong? If I was fighting, if I was talking about the Cowboys, I understand that doesn't draw any women. But when I went through things like ponytails and their shoes, they have fads for shoes that change every 10 minutes. They're responsible for this outrage with flip flops. Women.
By the way, have a bulletin. This bulletin just in.
All right, good.
One woman on hold.
One woman on hold.
Yeah.
Do we have time?
No, don't have enough time now. So.
Okay, tell her to get off the air.
I think you just did.
No, please, lady, don't.
No, she won't hang up.
All right, she's a good one. She's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, to the rest of you ladies out there, I'm sorry that I can't help you. Here they are now. Listen, I know you can call now, but remember one thing: I don't need your pity. Give us a call, 1-800-572-8255. We're talking about fads. Fads you got involved in. Fads we all got involved in. Jump in here and join us. Fun Seekers Radio Network, and we'll be right back.
Walk the magic board, down on the corner, out in the street, playing the folk boys are playing, bring the nickel tap your feet. Down on the corner, out in the street, playing the folk boys are playing, bring the nickel tap your feet. Down on the corner, out in the street, playing the folk boys are playing.
Welcome back, gang. We are glad you are here. Talking about fads. Remember the high school fads for boys and girls? Yeah, we all had them. And for young adults, the fads continued. And we sometimes got them from the movie stars. Sometimes we just didn't know where they came from, except that it was easy to get into. Do you remember when it was very fashionable for teenage girls to wear jodhpurs? Riding breeches that you could ride a horse with, and that was what it was originally designed for, jodhpurs. I thought they had to wear them with boots. I thought those were wonderful. So, jump in here, add your fads for anything from haircuts to type shoes or what have you. Hey, come on, ladies, I want you to get involved in this. 1-800-572-8255. Let's go to Burn Mountain and talk to my friend Betty on the radio. Hello, young lady.
Good morning, Luddy.
How you doing?
If I still had my jodhpurs and boots, I'd have them on this morning.
They were attractive. I mean that. They were attractive.
Oh, I love those things. That was the closest I came to having horse.
Yeah.
I could pretend.
We saw them in the movies. Katharine Hepburn wore them in the movies. just as a fashion statement. They wasn't supposed to be beautiful or anything,
No,
but you had to wear boots with them.
but and the first pair. Well, really, I think I only had one pair in my whole life, but I absolutely love those things, and if I had them today, I would wear them.
It's a good job for today, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I think one thing, the ladies, we just hate to think about how we looked in some of these things that we wore. You talk
Listen,
about the Paris designers. Do you remember the trapeze style dress that came out? It was very fitted from the bosom. From there down, it went out like a trapeze in a shape that was it was just horrible, and they were rather short. And then we had the Empire style dress, which was very much like I think they named it that because of Napoleon and Eugene. That was the style dress she would wear. It would be fitted at the top and then gathered right in beneath the bosom, and then would be full all the way down. Very straight, no shape to it.
I remember what they called the new look, and I remember what they called the balloon look.
Oh, yes. Well, these all came along kind of one after the other, the trapeze and the balloon especially. And then we had what was called the sack dress, which was absolutely straight. If you took a what we used to call a toe sack and just cut a place for your head and your arms and put it on, that's the way it fit, and that was quite the thing for a while.
And your shoes, women's shoes, change every 3 minutes.
Oh yes, we went from the platforms that were 3 and 4 inches high to the roach killers that had the pointed toes. You could corner any roach in a corner and kill them very effectively with those.
I thought it very good, and the platform things, I thought were dangerous. Every once in a while, you'd find you know somebody, or you'd read it in the paper, somebody fell off of their shoes, and broke an ankle or something.
They really were very very dangerous and very hard to be graceful in those.
Oh yeah.
But
you could stomp out a forest fire. Yeah.
And now the hip hugger slacks. So many of these things, though, do recycle. Now you will see girls now with hip hugger jeans on, but the difference between the hip huggers that we wore and that had the bell bottoms even, we had the blouses that we wore were bodysuits that everything from where the slacks stopped and up from there looked like a regular blouse, except so you didn't show your waistline and a few things below the waistline. They snapped in the crotch, so they were called bodysuits. And nowadays,
I got a line here that I'm not going to use.
Well, if you notice now, these young girls walk around with the barest of tops on, and then those hip hugger pants, and they have a lot of rolls of fat and a few other things showing that not very attractive.
But it's like everything else all the time. There's some styles that people just can't wear. They just look bad on them. Either the fanny's too big, or they don't have enough here. Push the button there.
Well, even the best of bodies shouldn't show too much. I think a lot should be left to the imagination.
Amen.
But now Madras shirts or blouses, that was a nice fad. I liked that.
Yeah, that was all right.
And the John, as far as a brand name, John Romaine shoes and bags were quite hot at one time. If you had those, you knew you were some of the upper crust almost, or you thought you were.
You thought you were. I got to go, my love. You take care of yourself. I'll talk to you.
Well, I'll say this. I never wore a miniskirt because that's the only time a short woman could buy a skirt that didn't have to be hemmed. And it looked nice. Have a good day, Luddy.
All right, I'll talk to you. Be good.
Do I want? Will I what? Oh, baby, you know what I like. Chantilly lace and a pretty face and a ponytail hanging down, a wiggle in the walk and a giggle in the talk. Make the world go round, ain't nothing in the
All right, 1-800-572-8255. Our next caller is probably the most contrary man in the world. He was once seen arguing with a city limit sign. Jim Clip is here. Hello, Jim.
And I'm proud of it. Oh, you know, when it comes to women's pants, the end must justify the jeans.
Oh, very good. Very good, Jim.
You remember during the 40s and the probably early 50s, women wore skirts that broke above the knee.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And about somewhere around 50, 51, they fell below about 2 inches to 5 inches below the knee.
Yeah.
And all the boys and quite a few of the girls were crying about it. But I thought they were quite attractive.
Well, that's the eye of the beholder. I didn't mind them. I remember what you're talking about.
I don't know. I just in the skirts that they wore in the 40s, they made the knee look knobby more than, I mean, everybody's knee is a little knobby, but they made them look real knobby.
Okay.
On sideburns.
Yeah.
I don't recall if you ever remember seeing them or not, but I had sideburns. I come back to the middle of my ear.
I don't remember.
Okay.
But it sounds attractive to me.
Well, they were completely gray, silver gray.
Uh-huh.
And every woman I come across liked them, everybody except my wife. I've had strange women stop me on the street and comment on them.
All right.
But I wore them for about 15 years, you know.
Yeah, but
until I started getting gray all over.
Yeah, almost everybody had them. Every man had them 1 degree or another. Maybe not as sparkling as yours, but 1 degree or another, they had them.
Yeah, and they weren't attractive on a lot of people. They were on a lot of people. You know, just made the face, I guess. Flip-flops.
Yeah.
Samantha Bryan Calloway, that now owns the Pink Pig at L.J. Georgia.
Yeah.
Is decorating and selling flip-flops just as fast as she can decorate.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing now. The thing.
She got them, you know, they have butterflies and ribbons and bows and all that stuff on them.
Yeah, they're full. We get catalogs on that are nothing but flip-flops. I mean, you know, 100 pair. That's strange. How people will not follow my advice and get rid of those things.
And the fender skirts. When 1960, when I first came to Atlanta, Simmons Plating Works that I started to work for was with chrome plating about 20 sets of fender skirts a week. And all of a sudden, I mean, just overnight, everybody started using them, you know. And
they were pretty, I thought, very pretty.
Yeah. But they got caught with a about 70, 75 sets in there that they couldn't do anything with. People wouldn't come pick them up. I mean, the fad just went that quick.
That was called one of those good, seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah.
I thought they were pretty. I never could afford them, but I thought they were pretty.
Yeah, they were pretty, and I don't know why the fad stopped, but it did.
Gotta go, Jim. Gotta go, Jim. Take care, buddy. I'll talk to you.
Y'all be sweet, y'all.
All right, pal. Bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255. We'll be right back. Go to Science Hill, Kentucky, and talk to Sister on the radio. Hello, young lady. How you doing?
Well, I'm here.
Good.
Is the band going to strike up or something?
And it's about time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably the first fad, when I was a very small girl, my mother would stand me up in a chair, and when my hair had been shampooed, and of course it was long, down to my shoulders, and she would wrap my hair around her finger, and it was called the banana curls. And it was a long version of Shirley Temple.
All right.
Yeah. And of course my hair, it definitely did that. So, that's the first thing I can remember is those long banana curls. And I wore those till I was probably, oh Lord, I think I finally got embarrassed and said, Mother, let's do something else. And then I went to a ponytail.
I had never heard banana curls.
Yeah, banana curls. Yeah.
Ponytail kind of took over, didn't it?
Yes. And my hair was so thick and heavy that I would get headaches from my ponytail. I really would. But I still wore them. I still wore my ponytail. And you always had to have a scarf to match your outfit to wrap around that ponytail.
Oh, you could have 100 kind of scarves, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Hula hoop. That was the big fad.
Biggie, yeah.
Second grade, I wanted a hula hoop for my birthday, and I got it. It was blue. Let's see. If you had a plain sweater, some of the girls, I never got one, and I always envied them. They had these fake fur collars that they would wear with their sweaters, and sometimes they would have a little ball at the end. You could tie it, and, these little balls would hang down. I thought those were so pretty. Yes.
Well, if your daddy had bought you everything, and it changed the styles,
yes,
he'd have been broke.
Yeah, I know it. And then let's see. Of course, my mother made most of my dresses, and it was how many yards was in the skirt of your dress. The top would be just just to fit your body, but the bottom half of the dress had to be yards and yards and yards. And of course, the big old sash in the back where she would tie these big bows. And, of course, they were starched within an inch of my life. And then, of course, crinolines came in. And so then you had your crinolines under these big dresses. And so we thought we were princesses. I mean, we really thought we were hot stuff.
Did you like the crinolines?
Yes, I loved the crinolines. They were kind of scratchy to sit on. You kind of had to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
But I like the crinolines. Yeah, we would get in the girls' bathroom and tell how big. Again, it was how many yards. 25, 50, 75, and someone actually had a 100-yard crinoline, and we thought that was the ultimate, and I guess it was.
Yeah, that sounds like the ultimate.
I mean, our dresses stuck out. I'm sure we looked silly going down the hallway, but we didn't think so.
Oh, no.
Let's see. Penny loafers were the shoes. That was the shoes you wore.
For boys, too.
Yeah. And then as I got in high school, of course, it was, I can remember when the Beehives, that was sort of kind of early 60s, pre-Beatles, and every girl was in the bathroom teasing her hair and looking god-awful, but we thought we were, and then, of course, ironing your hair come in style.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah. Got several ugly things came in style, and I I got to go. You take care, and thanks for the call.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you later. 1-800-572-8255. Join us, Punch Sisters Radio Network.
Saturday morning cereals, chapters 1 through 15. Fly paper, penny loafers, Lucky Strike green. Flat tops, soft pops, Studebaker, Pepsi please. Ah, do you remember these? Cigar bands on your hand, your daddy's socks roll down. Sticks, no plugs, and aviator caps with flaps that button down. Movie stars on Dixie cup tops and knickers to your knees. Ah, do you remember these? The hip parade, grape truade, the Sadie Hawkins dance. Pedal pushers, ducktail hair, and begging your pants. Howdy doody.
Talking about fads, gang. Having a good time. The teenage fads, the fads when we grew up. Boys, girls, haircuts, shoes. Fads. Nothing but fads. Gonna be fun. Let's talk to Mike in Macon, Georgia. Hello, Mike. How you doing?
Hey, Ludlow. How you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy.
You sounding great, man. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Denny did a good job, but, had to get on to him a couple times, dragging his stuff around a little bit,
Okay. I'll tell him.
No, don't tell him. He cut me off. Talking about fans, my brother had a 54 Ford, and I don't know why in the world they was doing this, but they was taking the taillights off them things and going to the hardware store and buying a red bucket and cutting the bottom of that bucket out, just a round circle, and replace them headlights. I mean, those taillights. I don't know why they did that, but
well, let me tell you why they did that. They did that because a very popular boy had got some attention by doing that. And then everybody else wanted to do it. It's copycat stuff. Fun, though.
Yeah. It was, I mean, everybody did it. They had a shortage of mop buckets at the hardware store. And he had a scoop that he put on the hood of that thing, on the front of it. And he had the glass packs, but he would he'd crawl up in there with a hose pipe, fill that thing about half full of water.
Yeah.
And that thing would rust out, and man, it would sound. Oh man, you could hear him coming a block away.
Well, the louder the better. That's what the thought was.
We had one cop. I know he gave him 3 tickets for that. And my daddy said, "Boy, you're gonna have to take them things off."
That'd be awful to take them off after we go to all that trouble and expense.
Of course. Now he was born in '48. And I was born in '50, and his thing was they had white T-shirts, blue jeans, and white socks, and loafers, black loafers.
Yeah, that was kind of like our uniform.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And he grew his hair out and combed it in a ducktail. My mama hated it.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I thought they was ugly. Plus, they were hard to keep up.
Oh yeah. Well, he used to grease that thing down, But that's just something. Now, my nephew, when he was 2 years old, to the barber shop, put him in a chair, and the barber was this first big boy cut without mama there. And he said, "How you want it cut, son?" He said, "Don't cut my sunburns."
I love it. I got to go, Daddy. You take care of yourself.
See you, buddy.
I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right, let's talk to my friend Ish on the radio. What do you say, Ish? How you doing?
Good morning, Lud. You doing okay today, bud?
Doing good, buddy. Doing good.
I told Denny that hole you was digging with that spoon with them women, you're going to have a backhoe to fill it.
Well, where are they when you need them,
I remember the days when the boys got their jeans about 4 inches too long. They'd roll them up.
Oh yeah.
That was one of the
like the
fads.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Like the Cowboys, yeah.
What the heck? My mind wanders too much anymore. Penny loafers. And one reason
for boys and girls.
Yeah. I think one reason that the fender skirts went out so fast was that most of the young men driving in those days had Maypop tires on.
Yeah.
It was a pain in the neck to take those skirts off all the time, especially on the gravel roads.
Yeah. Well, I flat couldn't afford them. I would love to have had them, but I just...
Well, I couldn't even afford cars, so...
Yeah, well... but I thought they were pretty beautiful, as a matter of fact.
Oh, they were. I think that they should come back with them. I think it makes
that.
A lot of these cars today look a lot better with them.
Yeah. I love that.
But that's the thing, part of Americana that's gone, though, buddy.
You never know what starts the fads, and you never know the first person. Who do you think was the first person to take a playing card and tape them to the front wheels of his bicycle?
Yeah, I remember those.
And he do that. One guy do that, and first thing you know, they'd be all over town.
Yeah, you're right.
Fun stuff. That was part of growing up, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and another fad that was catching on in the late 40s and early 50s, just a little while before I joined the Navy, the jeans, with the white strings in the back and the bell bottoms.
Yeah.
Did you have those in your part of Georgia?
Yeah, we had them, but I had those in the 6th and 7th grade. They were very, very fashionable. The war was on. Everybody we knew was in the Navy or the Marines or the Army.
Yeah.
And they made those for little kids. So I was wearing those at 5 or 6 years old. But I knew that they were Navy. I knew they were Navy pants.
Yeah. Well, Luddy, it's good talking with you again, buddy.
You behave yourself, and I'll talk to you later.
I'll try.
All right, pal. Take care. 1-800-572-8255. The Choo Choo Man is in Dallas, Georgia, and so are we. Hello, Choo.
Hello, Ludlow.
What do you say?
Well, I don't say much, but
all right.
And I'm saying less these days than I used to, Luddy. I can't think good no more.
Oh, come on, you think fine.
But I got a fad that it's a complaint. And there ain't nothing I can do about it, Luddy.
Tell me.
It's a fad that the teenagers are wearing at school, going to school with now. Now, a teacher told me this, and I know it's true. The kids are wearing their jeans below their underwear.
Yeah.
And how they keep them up, I don't know. I've not figured that out. But anyway, she told me that she told that now this ain't no little boy. He was a teenager.
Yeah.
And had his pants below his underwear. And she told him, said, "You pull them pants up." He said, "Well, if I do, they'll just fall right back down."
Well, it's got some good news about that.
All right, let me hear it.
The good news is that's a fad that seems to be disappearing. I don't know, but I for a while you saw a lot of those, and I think that's disappearing. You don't see as much as you did. I'll be glad when it's gone.
Well, why in the world would they let them do it?
Well, it was all over the place, I think, before they realized it. I think they got caught with their pants down, so to speak.
I guess you're right. Well, one more thing.
All right.
I've told you, I bought me a new Buick when I come out of the Army.
Yeah.
And it was a red hardtop convertible, and it was a beauty. and I had pinned the skirts on it.
Yeah.
But that's not what I want to tell you about. You remember this tape that people put on the rear bumpers back then? Wrote different things on the back bumper.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can remember that or not.
Yeah, I do.
But I had on mine, the song "Wake Up Irene, I Gotta Go Home."
Was
the song?
Wasn't that "Good Night, Irene"?
Yeah, I think so. But I had on mine "Wake Up Irene."
Okay.
And on the other side of the bumper, I had "I've Gotta Go Home." On that Buick.
You bought a $4,000 car and decorated it, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I put fender skirts on it too, and it was a beauty. It was a beauty, but I traded it off. I kept it about a year and traded it for another one, for an Oldsmobile.
Oh boy, you had some pretty cars. Those were all good cars about that time.
Oh yeah, but and then I kept that Oldsmobile about a year, and I traded it off and got me a Buick, another Buick.
Yeah.
A '57 Buick, and then after that, about another year or two, I got me a Volkswagen, and we're going downhill ever since. That's about the time I got married, Luddy.
Yeah, well, marriage changes things, don't it?
Oh yeah, it does. But that was a fad back then. And another thing was hanging stuff on the mirror of your car back then.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I had some little baby chopsticks that I got in Japan.
Uh-huh.
A little baby girl gave me them chopsticks and told me to keep them forever. And my niece is little kid saw them hanging on my mirror, and she took them away from me, and I ain't seen them since.
Yeah, that happens. That's another fad.
That's a fad.
Yeah.
People used to hang everything on their mirror,
Oh yeah.
Well, the law wouldn't allow it now. They'd give you a ticket for that, I bet now.
You could tell then, just a few years ago, who was coming back from Florida and who wasn't, because they always had that stuff out of the trees. The moss?
Moss, yeah.
In the front of the cars, and you could tell that they just come back from Pocatello.
South Georgia or Florida one.
Yeah.
It started when you went across the Georgia line. That's when you start gathering that stuff.
Yeah, and I went down with my mother one time, and I was about 14, and I started putting that stuff on the front of the car. She said, "Have you lost your mind?"
Well.
Yeah,
that was what people wanted to see, though.
Yeah, and that was it. It's kind of like the Sea Rock City flags. That's all you could do is put that on and hope somebody knew what it was for. Funny.
Yeah, I used to see them signs when you get within 50 mile of Lookout Mountain.
Yeah.
You'd start seeing them signs. Sea Rock City.
I gotta go, Chew. You take care of your bad self.
Have yourself a fine one, Luddy.
Well, he outgrew his sequin suit, sold his trailways bus, let his hair get a little too long, ducktails bit the dust. It's custom made, pearl inlaid guitar slipped from his hand, and in its place a new electrical one he had flown in from Japan. 'Cause he's a cheeseburger eating, abandoned Sunday meeting, brand new country star. He rides around in a Lincoln Continental, steer horns on his car. Top. Yeah, he's a hot Roman candle from the Texas Panhandle. He can either go country or pop.
All right, let's talk to my friend Mac in Plum Nelly. Hello, Mac. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, Ludlow. How about yourself?
Good today. Good today.
Ain't it amazing how much those fads had to do with horses? Those riding breeches. Now, the only people I saw wearing those things were motorcycle cops, you know. But
yeah.
I'm glad that the penny loafers came back because we could keep a quarter in each one of them in case we run low on gas. You could buy 2 gallons of what you had in shoes.
Yeah.
It got people to quit wearing saddle Oxfords, and after them came harness boots, and after that the girls started wearing halter tops and ponytails, you know, and it's amazing how much of that stuff has got to do with horses.
Well, that's true. That's true.
But we had a fad when I was junior high school, and the guys all got ID bracelets and those little London fog jackets and had your monogram put on it. And it wasn't because we couldn't remember who we were. It's just because you didn't have your class ring yet, and your girlfriend have something of yours that she could wear.
something sharp to give her to, or to let her.
Yeah, she could wear your bracelet barely hanging on her hand, you know.
Yeah.
And the ones that had a boyfriend that was a senior had tape wrapped all around his ring stuck on the finger, you know, so it wouldn't fall off.
Yeah, about $1 worth of tape.
Yeah.
I remember.
But,
I remember.
That's about all the fads that people hadn't covered already.
Well, you take care of yourself, and I'm glad to know what's going on in Plum Nelly, always.
I'll give somebody else a chance to take care.
All right, buddy. Yeah, then listen, this is a fad day, so let's talk about it. Let's go to Thompson, Georgia, and talk to my pal Jimmy. What do you say, Jim?
All right, Ludlow. You doing okay?
Doing good today.
I must have been next in line when I called.
I believe you were, yeah.
Denny's quick this morning.
Yeah.
Hank Thompson did have a record right after that Irene Goodnight.
Yeah.
Called Wake Up Irene.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm behind.
Well, you probably might not have heard it.
I remember the Goodnight Irene being made popular by a group called the Weavers. Do you remember the Weavers?
Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah.
And I think Hank that's kind of a answer to that or something. I don't know.
Could be. Fun stuff.
Yeah. You remember the Mohawk haircuts?
Oh boy, I hated those.
I did too. I never did go there.
No, me either.
And peroxide, the boys got into this.
Yeah, I got into it too.
I either put too much or not enough on mine, turned mine green instead of blonde. I was a green hornet there for a while.
There you go. Well, I got mine right because it turned mine. My hair's light anyway, and it turned it white.
Yeah, I had to go. I went to the barber and had to cut it real short so it would cut quicker.
Yeah, you always had to go back to that barber because that was your only salvation if you screwed it up.
I didn't like that, and I didn't do that no more.
No, one time was enough for me.
Yeah. Well, that's about it for me, Ludlow.
All right. Did y'all get much of that rain over in Thompson the other day?
No, about 3 or 4 drops.
Wow. We got plenty. It rained all afternoon over here.
Them buckets I asked you to send me never did get you.
I don't think I had a bucket full, but something like
that. Didn't bring them.
Yeah.
Carried them somewhere else.
Well, it was a good little rain.
Yeah, they predicting a pretty good chance about Saturday or Sunday here.
Yeah, talking about thunder and lightning and hell and brimstone. All that.
I can do without that hell and brimstone.
Yeah, me too. We got to take a little trip. We're going out of town, and I don't like to drive much in the rain.
No, my tomatoes are growing pretty good. I don't want to beat them down.
Good. No sirree. You take care. I'll see you later.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Ludlow.
1-800-572-8255. We'll be right back. Give us a call.
And now here's Ludlow Porch.
All right. Thank you, Denny. And Denny, tell me, what kind of fads did they have in Mississippi as you were growing up? Because you grew up a long time.
Pants?
Fads.
Oh, fads.
Yeah. Or pants. I don't.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd say we really didn't have any pants back in those, where I grew up. We kind of wore a loincloth. Hung in trees a lot.
And a little knife.
Yeah, a little knife, yeah. Fads, I was thinking about some of those, and I guess one that kind of, somebody tried to bring this back, and I have no idea why in the world they would do this, but they tried to bring back an oldie but a goodie there at one point. And they were using, I guess, a lot for fundraising and things. Swallowing goldfish. Now, I don't know who started that one and exactly what era that was. Did that go along with the flagpole sitting, or was that?
I think roughly it was the 20s.
Yeah.
And the flagpole sitting was about the same time. I think maybe somebody will call and tell us, but. I always liked the idea of climbing a flagpole, sitting on it for a month or something.
Yeah, so once the first guy did that, probably tried to get away from a Doberman.
Yeah.
And somebody said, "Hey, look, that's cool. I'm going to do that."
I've always wondered about that. What in the world were they thinking about? At Old Ring Radio, we got the idea one time we were going to do a publicity thing. We had low ratings and we were desperate.
Yeah.
So we never followed through on this. We designed a little camper. If you could picture a camper with a little hole in the bottom for a flagpole.
Yeah.
And we talked a guy into going up there and sitting. And this guy's still in the business, so I'm not going to call his name. But he was engaged. Mm-hmm. And when Mama heard about this, she cut the hole out of the flagpole meeting. But he was going to go up there and sit in his camper, all the comforts of home.
Really?
For a month or something like that. Never did carry that off. But the fish swallowing, I don't know. Who can thought of that? It's hard for me to swallow sometimes.
I got roped into it one time, and it was for a fundraiser, and had to, I was committed to it because I said, okay, I'll do that. And didn't really know what I was going into at the time, but then, when you're in front of about 500 or 600 people, and you kind of obligated at that point. But,
oh boy!
But I do remember one of the fads that you take a perfectly good pair of Levi's and cut the bottoms of them off so they'd frizzle out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about the long ones. The cutoff was one thing, but for short pants. But perfectly good pair, and you just cut the bottom of it off so it'd unravel and be
it'd be frizzly.
Yeah, frizzly looking at the bottom. Yeah, I guess that's the right word, frizzly.
Yeah.
And the usual haircuts, I guess it was everywhere else. It went from flat tops to, like you said, foreheads disappeared.
Yeah, I
remember the day my forehead disappeared. It sounds kind of like a country song, don't it? The day my forehead disappeared.
I don't know why I thought about this, but it's the last that it had in the middle of the road. It had the little block house for the MPs to stand in.
Yeah,
and it down both sides it had road. And this guy who had been drafted for the Korean thing was apparently really sorry he was drafted, but glad he was getting out.
Yeah.
And he took his sea bag up there, true story, took his sea bag up there, which contained everything he had.
Yeah.
From underwear to socks, whatever. And right in front of that MP booth, whatever it was, he emptied it in the middle of that road. And set fire to it.
Set fire to it?
Set fire to it. The pile of clothes, he set fire to it. And the last thing I heard, he was still in the brig.
He was probably okay up until the point that he struck that Zippo.
Yeah, I think so, till it flamed up.
Yeah, that's where the problem, I imagine, would have started.
Yeah, I think he got about a year in the brig.
Jeez, what an idiot.
But, yeah, go off down the highway, burn a service station down or something, but don't stand in front of folks that could lock you up.
You know, another fad it talks about cars a while ago and how, you know, boys would do one thing. I never did really understand this one either, but this was like my two brothers' age, who were like 10, 11 years older than me, but guys would get a brand new set of glass packs on their car, you know, glass pack mufflers.
Right.
Then they'd heat it up, you know, get the engine good and hot, and then they'd put a water hose and spray up in there to break the glass so it'd be louder.
And the parents thought they were crazy.
Yeah, oh yeah. And another one, like there was a time there where everybody had to jack the back of the car up.
Yeah.
You buy them little spacer things you could put under the springs. It'd make it ride around. It'd be bumpy as hell, but you know, it looked cool.
That's all it took.
Yeah.
Strange things happened during that era because the veterans were coming home and able to buy cars. They had money they saved up for 4 years, some of them, and they could buy cars, but there were no cars to buy.
Well, when I was around, they were coming back from Vietnam. So,
yeah. There were no cars to buy, and they were in awful shape. When they find a used car, you know, it looked like it might be worth $100. They'd $400 or $500 for it. That was a strange time for the automobile industry, but they still had to put recap tires on them. Funny. 1-800-572-8255. We're going to make this an open line, gang, and let you talk about whatever you want to talk about for the rest of the day. It's a great day. It's been a little windy up here all week long, but now it is flat dry. Jump in here, join us. Fun Seekers Radio Network, and we'll be right back. One 800-572-8255. Home line, gang. Whatever you wish to speak about, we're going to do it. Let's go to Thompson, Georgia, and talk to my buddy, the Rhyming Clown. Hello, Clown. How you doing, buddy?
Doing just fine, Uncle Letty.
Good.
Just enjoying the show and bringing back a lot of memories.
Yeah, we were involved in a lot of these. Most of us were.
Yeah, I remember the bell-bottom pants a good bit in school. That was really a fashion statement if you had those, I guess you'd say.
Right.
And Lloyd mentioned those leisure suits. What I remember about them was the long pointed collars, you know, that stuck way down. They didn't really stay around here too long, I don't think.
No, they didn't. I had one. I had a green one.
Yeah.
It was probably as tacky as you want to find.
Yeah.
But it fit well, and there were a lot of places you could wear it.
But I don't think it was the color that made it tacky.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the color that made it
Any
at all.
of them were.
Yeah.
And
Ugly.
Then it just stole my thunder on there. I hadn't heard anybody talking about cutting off the hem of your your long jeans.
Yeah.
That around here, and it would make my mama so mad, you know. We wanted that frayed look, and we'd take a brand new pair of jeans and cut them off. Sister mentioned penny loafers. For some reason, I never had those, but I always kind of liked them, liked the looks of them. But what I did have, and I've not heard anybody mention, is wingtips.
Wingtips. Well, my first pair of wingtips was when I was grown, I guess. I wore penny loafers and sports shoes up until that time.
Yeah, I got a pair, I guess, when I was a teenager, and boy, I just thought I was something.
Yeah, grown-up shoes. Yeah, sure you did.
Yeah, and something nobody else has mentioned is cufflinks. And they had something called French cufflinks.
Yeah.
I remember having one shirt that didn't have any buttons, and the sleeve, when you unfolded it, it come on down to the tips of your fingers, you know, and you'd have to fold that back and put that cufflink in there.
Yeah. That we call them. Yeah. Those just went away overnight.
And you just don't see them at all anymore.
No, gone.
And we experimented with a lot of different mufflers and the glass packs and, and trying to make the most noise. You mentioned steering wheel knobs early on. I think they probably went away with the advent of power steering, don't you imagine?
I'm sure. But boy, was that knob something.
Yeah, oh yeah. And something I went against with my parents a lot was the long hair. I'd go to the barber shop, and maybe he was a young barber anyway, so he kind of understood where I was coming from, and maybe if he didn't cut enough off, I may have to go back again, but he wouldn't charge me any extra. But it reminded me of an old joke that's been around longer than I have. There was a young son that turned 16, and, that's a rite of passage to get a vehicle, when you turn 16, especially for a boy.
Right.
And so he got after his daddy about getting him a pickup truck. And his daddy said, we'll consider it, but said, you're going to have to make a few changes. He said, first of all, I want you to go back to Sunday school and church. He done got where he was laying out on Sunday. And then you need grades up in school. And then the third thing was you're supposed to cut your hair. And so he did those first two things, and he waited a few weeks, and he come back to his dad and talked to him about it. Still wanting that. He done had the pickup picked out, the one he wanted and everything. His dad said, your last report card, your grades was up some, and said, you going back to church, but said you didn't cut your hair. I said, what's the deal on that? And this boy spoke up and said, Jesus had long hair. His daddy said, we don't know for sure. We just have pictures. But said, that may be true. But said, you do know he walked everywhere he went, too.
Yeah, the battle of the teenagers. I love it.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, lad.
All right, big boy, you take care of yourself.
All right.
Hang in there.
Well, Lud, you were talking about that guy when he was getting out of the Marine Corps, and he decided he was going to show off and burn his clothes in front of the MP.
That'll teach him to draft me, boy.
Oh, yeah, he showed them, didn't he? And he ended up going in, in the brig for a year already.
Last thing I saw, he was still there.
He may still be there, right?
Yeah.
Here's some guy. Ain't exactly the sharpest knife in the drawer here either. 19-year-old fellow named Shane, or 19-year-old Shane, got arrested in Florida earlier this year, and they charged him with burglarizing an unmarked police car and also stealing several items out of it, including handcuffs, plus he got a taser gun. Oh, Shane did now.
Yeah, Shane.
Here's what happened now. After he stole that stuff out of the unmarked police car, Shane had to call the police for help after he accidentally cuffed himself. And the officer said they also think he accidentally tasered himself.
A real bright guy.
Can you imagine that phone call? He's got both hands, got them cuffed together. He's got his cell phone out of his pocket there and trying to dial the police and say, excuse me, my name's Shane. I got handcuffs on me and I need some help.
Can you send some help?
I believe I'd have found a locksmith. I'd have found a friend somewhere, something, anyone, anywhere, except calling the police department.
Last place on earth I want to hear from me.
Oh, Jesus. I knew a guy that it wasn't exactly the same thing, but it was bad enough. Somebody left him at a bar, and this is in South Mississippi several years ago. A guy I knew. He had been in the bar all night, so his ride left him. And he got tired of standing out in the cold, and a policeman had pulled up. And they always would pull up, they go in and check the bar and, walk around a little bit, and they'd leave the car running, especially in cold weather.
Yeah.
Nobody gonna mess with a police car, right?
No.
Well, so he did. He went and jumped in that police car and took it home. He lived with his mama, maybe 5 blocks away from where the bar was. Parked it out there, went in the house, went to bed, and his mama saw it about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and woke him up and said, what in the world is that police car doing out there? And she made him go move it. So he moved it like about a half a block down the street. Of course, they knew who it was. I mean, it wasn't the first time he'd been in trouble, and he probably would have been more or less okay, except he decided to take the radio out of there and a leather jacket and all kind of stuff. And it was laying right there in the living room of his mama's house.
Isn't it funny how dumb you can get at bad times? When I was a teenager, I worked with a guy who had just gotten undesirable discharge out of the Army.
Yeah.
Undesirable now.
Uh-huh.
And what he had done in a drunken stupor, he had stolen a South Carolina or Georgia, I forget which, state patrol car.
Oh, jeez.
And hanging in the back, because the guy just been to the cleaners, was the shirts and pants.
Yeah.
The uniform. And he had those on when they caught him.
Oh, my.
And I think, in addition to getting thrown out of the Army, I think he got 2 or 3 years.
I bet he did. I know this guy that I was talking about. He was in jail for a little while, but he got probation for I don't know how many years.
Got to get something for dumb.
Boy, I'm telling you.
Got to get something for dumb. I mean, all the Cadillacs and Mercedes out there, who's going to steal a police car? We'll be right back. Stay with us. And we wish you'd jump in here and give us a call about whatever is on your mind. Right now, we're going to go to Somerset and talk to my friend Ralph on the radio. Hello, big boy. How you doing?
Well, if it's any better, it'd be twins.
I love that. You're good.
I heard that before on your show. Talk about fender skirts on the car. First Chevrolet I ever had, Chevrolet at that time, was a 1953 Chevrolet Bel Air. I had one fender skirts.
Yeah.
Now I've got a 1957 Caprice Classic convertible, and it's got fender skirts on it, which come out on it. And I don't remember when they quit putting fender skirts on them from the factories, but they made a bad mistake. In fact, I wish they still had them and put them on trucks too.
Yeah, I do too, because I thought they were pretty. I thought it made the car look more expensive than it was. I mean, back then, we spent all the money we had and still didn't get any extras. And I wish they saw it back at the factory. That was a good deal.
I liked them, yeah. And talk about people getting bailed out. I was in business for 25 years in Richmond, Kentucky. And if we get in trouble, we took care of ourselves. We didn't ask that bunch of crap up there in Washington or Frankfurt or wherever, to bail us out, because we took care of ourselves. And in fact, about these banks brought it all on themselves.
Yeah.
Brought it all on themselves.
Well, most folks in trouble got that for the same reason. They got it up on themselves.
Yeah. Well, I thought I'd give you a call today, but the fender skirts made a car look better to me. And I'll tell you one thing. You didn't get any mud or anything splattered up on the side of your car with them fender skirts. It went behind you and got whoever behind you got it in there on their windshield.
Yeah. I think the thing I liked about them most was it made them look sleek. It made them look just like a bigger, better car.
That's right. They made them look awful sharp to me.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll talk to you later, and I've enjoyed every bit of your program. I listen to you every time I can, but sometimes I can't.
I got you.
I pull off the road and listen to you now.
Good.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay, buddy. Take care of yourself. 1-800-572-8255. I mentioned the earlier. I mentioned something. The spinner knob on the wheel, and the knob always had a picture in it, under glass or cellophane or something, and it had a picture in it. And big, as I said earlier, they're big on bathing beauties, and they not movie stars necessarily, but a woman in a bathing suit, one piece. I mean, it wasn't nothing sexy about this thing. It was just a bathing suit. And that was one of the things you put on either on your gear shift or on that spinner knob, and you were considered to be a grown-up by then, because after all, you were 15 or 16 years old, and you had a picture of a woman in your car with a bathing suit on. So that kind of qualified you for something. I don't know what it was, but for something. Your car was your castle, and we all had to work. And every penny of spare money, when we had some, went to buy something for the car, if only gas. I saved up, I don't know, maybe a year, 2 years to buy my first car. And when I got it, I felt so good about it because now I could quit my job. My car was in the garage and it was mine, and now I could quit my job. And about the day after I quit my job, I realized that I had to go get another job because that car in the driveway was still costing me money every time I cranked it up. Real shock. I think the only thing that was a bigger shock than that was to get your first paycheck and see that they had taken Social Security and everything else out of it. and you were still in rough shape because you still had to go back to work. And you know what? I hadn't quit since. To amount to anything, I slowed down some, but I hadn't quit since. Do you remember when you got your check? How startled you were that it was about half of what you thought? I didn't know anything about getting anything, that's going to continue to cost me money. It never occurred to me that I was going to have insurance on a car. I'd never heard of insurance until my mother told me. Took all my money still, all my money. A car, as you know, is a very expensive thing to own. And if you are 15 or 16, 17 maybe, you suddenly get that stark realization that this ain't over. I still got to work, and the money goes to the car. The money still goes to the car. 1-800-572-8255. We'll be right back. Give us a call.
Just got out from the county prison doing 90 days for non-support. Tried to find me an executive position, but no matter how smooth I talk, they wouldn't listen to the fact that I was a genius. The man said we got all that we can use. Now I got them steadily depressing, low down mind messing, working at the car wash blues. Well, I shouldn't be.
All right, 1-800-572-8255. Then they're going to Knoxville this weekend. There's a big barbecue contest up there, and Nancy's one of the judges.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we you know what, and I remember going around Knoxville, but I don't remember ever going through it. But I'm anxious to see it. We hadn't got much to do. That's her duties up there last about 2 hours, so we're gonna go there and judge. She's going to judge the barbecue while I watch the television or something, and I'm looking forward to it. Those things are really a lot of fun, and they're a lot of fun because of the intensity of the guys, the cooks.
Man, those folks are serious, ain't they?
Oh boy, and then they pull trailers in up there where you open a door on that trailer, and you step into the most lavish kitchen you've ever seen in your life, including your kitchen at home. They're just beautiful, and that's what they do. And sometimes it's $2,500 for a winter, but sometimes it's a lot less than that. But they're doing it for the love of cooking and the love of barbecue. They when they swear you in for this barbecue thing, they got a thing that they do. Where you swear your love for barbecue, and it's really kind of silly, but
on my honor, I will cook my brisket to the best of my ability.
Yeah, but these guys, to just walk around among them is very, very interesting because you see if they put a spoonful of stew or something in there, and they put it to their lips, and very gently they go, and said, yeah. And then they got to have somebody run to the judges before they get cold. It is a whole other world. Let's go to North Carolina and talk to Don on the radio. Hello, big boy.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You all right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I remember I had a couple of cars. I had a 53 Hudson that had a cork clutch that you put oil in.
Yeah.
And I had a 55 Ford with a 3-speed overdrive. And I always remember how you had to give it the gas and let up on it and put it in overdrive and then pull it out again.
And what model Hudson did you have?
53. I just had the regular old straight 6 Hudson. Didn't have the
Great car. Great car.
Yeah. Step down, first unitized frame they ever had, and it beat the whole racing world until 1953.
Yeah.
And, you know, I won a $100 bet with a guy one time with a cork clutch, and he says, "There ain't nobody that you put fluid in a clutch." I said, "Well, put your money where your mouth is," and I made a $100 bet on it. Most people don't realize how smooth those clutches were back then.
You know, that was such a great car. Our family car was a Hudson, I think a 50-something early. But boy, you could get 6 grown people in that thing, and nobody was crowded. Big car.
Oh no,
big
my
car.
neighbor had a 53 Hudson Hornet with a twin H power.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it was an automatic, and it seemed like to me it had a drive and a super or something. But I can remember going to Wyoming. I lived in Colorado, and we had a pizzeria up in Wyoming. I can remember going to Wyoming at 110 mile an hour.
Yeah.
And you still had half up gas throttle to go.
Yep. It would really move along the road, and I wish I could find another one today. I'd buy one today. As a matter of fact, coincidence you mentioned that, I took my driver's test in a 1948 Hudson, and that was, as you know, a big car.
Oh yeah, they were
Big,
tanks.
Yeah.
My girlfriend told me it looked like a bathtub turned upside down. That was all right. It's the Shoe Leather Express.
but that when you get up in the 50s, 51, 52, 53, it would go just as fast as you wanted to go.
Oh yeah. And then I don't know. Hudson I think was way ahead of their times, but
yeah.
With the cloth seats and the heater that would drive you out of it.
Yeah.
Mine even had a heater under the seat. Now, I don't know if they all had heaters under the seats or not, but some had heaters under the seats.
I don't remember. I know that as a little boy, I could sit between 2 adults, the front seat or back seat, and never touch either one of them. Yep. It was just that big. Yeah. Huge car. Huge
and they still got 20 miles a gallon of gas.
Yeah.
But that's when gas was gas, and it was 25.9. So,
yeah, by the time I got to, needed to worry about gas, all I could afford was the dollar's worth. I was a king of riding into the, not saying, ever saying fill it up, but just saying give me $1 worth of regular.
yeah. But you could buy almost 4 gallons of gas too.
Yep.
That was great.
Yeah. All right, my man.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Enjoy your program.
You take care. Call us again soon.
You bet.
Bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255 is our number. Ludlow and Denny, the Fun Seekers Radio Network. Denny, we're going to revive an old topic. We had a topic that we did for, I guess, 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember this, Denny, whether it was called Beyond Stupid?
Oh, yeah. I do remember that. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. People would call up and commit to the darndest things. The one I remember very well, the guy started in his bathroom, brushed his teeth, turned, rinsed his brush off, and then, like most people do, tap it on the side of the sink. Yeah. I tapped it on the side of the sink about 3 times and then threw it in a garbage can.
Beyond stupid.
Oh,
thing is, between the two of us, we got enough to get it started real well.
Yeah.
Boy, I've done so many stupid things in my life. And I'm sure I'll do plenty more.
Well, I hope not. But I hope none of them are painful, is what I hope.
Oh, yeah, that's the problem. Sometimes it is. And stupid can be inconvenient, too.
Oh,
stupid
yeah.
can be very inconvenient.
What was the motto the guy gave his son? Son, here's something that you'll never live down. If you're gonna be stupid, you better be tough.
Yeah. A lot of truth in that, Lud.
Yeah. we had a couple of great adventures over there. Do you remember we were where they fed the Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
We ate in that proximity.
Yeah.
But I remember the time that somebody spilled some syrup.
Oh, jeez.
On the table flap.
I'm still wiping it off.
Oh, I got home and I was picking at my watch, and my wife said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I can't see what time it is. My watch crystals got syrup on it." She said, "I thought you were at work today." I said, "I was at work today." But at every place I look, there'd be more syrup.
They had those vinyl type tablecloths on there, and I don't know how. I never even really saw the syrup. I just know that it was somewhere on the edge of that tablecloth.
Exactly.
And
I saw it that night when I got home.
And it wasn't like one of us sitting in the other's lap either. I mean, we were across from each other at the table, and we still got it. Both of us got it. I don't know how.
Fun. That was a very crowded restaurant at lunchtime.
Yeah, and you get you figure when they had like 100 guys on that football team that, during before they started making cuts, they fill that place up. Well, some of the boys were a lot bigger than others too. They'd take up a whole table themselves.
Yeah, and I remember the days that they got cut.
Oh yeah.
So you see it, you pass one in the parking lot, and this poor guy who trained all his life to be a football player.
Ever since he's like 5 years old, he's been living for that.
And they had the trunk of their car lifted, and just kind of standing there like they were in a daze.
Oh, yeah, and they had that hotel where they would board the players during training camp, and every once in a while the maintenance guys have to go around to one of the rooms and repair holes in the walls from frustrations.
Yeah, that is frustrating.
It has to
because
be.
That's one of those things that's missed it by that much.
I'd like to be the telling.
Oh, I'd call him. I'd call him on the phone.
To from across the room.
Some of those guys, it wasn't uncommon to see a guy having lunch with us who was 6'7" at 325 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, some of them come on through that door and have to bend over a little bit.
Yeah.
Huge.
But nice people. I enjoyed our years over there.
I tell you one thing that was a lot of fun too. Is they would have that cheerleader camp every summer for about 2 or 3 weeks, it seemed like, and young girls would come in from all over the South, I guess, and for a week at a time, each one of them, running new cheers and things, and outside the window from where we were, across the dining room out where there'd be a grassy area, and they'd be practicing a bunch of girls. Every once in a while, you just see one flying up by the window and back down.
That was so funny because you didn't know how they got to be airborne because of the ground level.
Yeah, all you saw was just them going past the window.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, one day I believe I sent for you. I said, "Denny, come in here. You're not going to believe this." And there were girls were flying in the air outside.
And you always knew it was that time of year because you'd hear outside from off in the distance, "Yo, Yale!"
Yeah, you hear? Yeah, we had some good years over there. Made some good friends. I hated when they closed that thing down.
Me too. I mean, then to tear it completely down, it's like there's a parking garage there now, I think.
And then how tempted I was when the guy said, "I got some bad news," and then I said, "Well, what? Get the hell out of here." 1-800-572-8255. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Let me tell you about a place somewhere up a New York way where the people are so gay, twisting the night away. Here they have a lot of fun, putting trouble on the run. Man, you find the old and young, twisting the night away.
All right, 1-800-572-8255. It's about time for me to catch my dog and go home. But then I think it's this way. I am at home. It's been a great day. I've had a lot of fun with the fads, and it's I guess any good talk show is supposed to bring back some memories, and this one has to me today. I started off talking about the taps, but I don't think I remember how loud the taps were until you got into a long haul in high school. So we're gonna get out of here. Denny, we look forward to seeing you in the morning. Friday tomorrow, as I remember. We'll have a good time for that. But everybody calls on Friday. And between now and then, I want you to do me a favor. Whatever else you do today, you can find somebody to be nice to.
Everybody's feeling great. They're twisting they're twisting the night. One more time. Lean up. Lean back. Lean up. Lean back.
Ludlow again. Just can't wait to hear Ludlow again. The life I love is here in Ludlow with my friends, and I can't wait to hear Ludlow again. Ludlow again. Just can't wait to hear Ludlow again. The life I love is here in Ludlow with my friends, and I can't wait to hear Ludlow again. Ludlow again. That band of wackos goes out on the airwaves. They're the best of friends, insisting that the only way's the fair way. And that's why I say Ludlow again. Just can't wait to hear Ludlow again. The life I love is here in Ludlow with my friends, and I can't wait to hear Ludlow again. No,